Hi friends, Sunil here. Welcome to this channel. In this video we are going to learn about functions in Python. Now many programs require that a particular group of instructions be accessed repeatedly from several places within the program. Now these instructions are placed within a function and the functions can be invoked whenever it is needed. Now the function reduces the size of the program and makes the program more organized and manageable and debugging easier. Basically, a function is a group of related instructions that perform a specific task. Now there are two types of functions, built-in functions and user-defined functions. Built-in functions are built into the Python interpreter, whereas user-defined functions are those defined by the user as per his requirement. For example, suppose we want to calculate the number of days between two dates, then we can have a function for that. The input parameters will be the start date and end date, and in the function you calculate the number of days between these dates and return the number of days. Now we will focus on the user defined functions. So this is the function definition syntax for that. First we have a def keyword, then the function name, which is to identify the function, then parameters or arguments through which we pass the values to the function. These parameters are optional. Then we have a doc string, that is documentation string, to describe what the function does. Then we have the statements of the function, then a return, which again is optional. If you don't return a value, it will return none. So this is the function definition. Now here we are calling the function. This is the function call. We have the function name and the arguments for calling. Now we will see the examples in the program. Here I am defining a function color and printing the color. I am not passing any parameters, function without parameters. So it has printed blue. Now in this function I am converting inches to centimeter. So I am calling this function from 5 different programs in the 5 different locations in the program. I am calling these functions from 5 different locations in a program. I am executing this. So I am passing the argument as 10. So 2.52 into 10, it is giving me 25. Now suppose I want to make a change here to 2.54 and I execute this. So I am getting 25.4. Now I had made change only in the function, but the change has got reflected in all the function calls. That is, in all the 5 locations it has got reflected. So modification of the program becomes easier when we are using function. Now next is scope of the variable. Here in this function I am defining a function. Here in this function I am having value of a is 5 and printing the value of a inside the function, and after coming out of the function again I am printing the value of a. So we will execute this. So value of a inside the function is 15, but when I come out of the function and print the value of a, it is 20. That is because this value of a 15 is local to the function. The scope of the variable is local to this function. When I come out of the function, the scope becomes global and the value of 20 of a is getting printed. Outside the function it is printing 20. Now here I am having a function square and having a statement pass. This pass statement, when we don't have any statement in a function, maybe at a later date, if you want to later time, if you want to put the statements, for the time being you can put pass here. So pass statement is there. I am executing this function square without giving parentheses. I am just executing square without parentheses. So it is not getting executed. Now if I print that square, then it is giving me the location of the function. Location of the function in the memory it is printing. Now after that, if I print this square, print this function, I am putting parentheses here to the square, and if I print this, now it is executing the function, but since there is no return in the function, it is giving me none. So when square is executed just like that without any parenthesis, it will not execute. When I am printing that square, it will give me the memory address, and when I put parenthesis, that is I am calling this function, it will call the function but return none. Now in that square, if I pass an argument, say I am passing 4 here, then it should print 16 because it is returning 4 into 4, 16. So here it is, I have got 16. Now suppose if I remove this 4 and call the function without any arguments, so it will give me an error. So it is giving me missing one required positional argument. So it is expecting one positional argument here. That is, in the function definition we are having one parameter. So it is expecting value to that. Since we are not passing any value here, so this is a required argument. That is, it is mandatory, it is a required argument. And since we are not passing that argument, it is saying that missing one required positional argument. So now we have seen the function with no argument, that is here color. Then we have seen the function with one argument, that is this square. And now we will see the function with two arguments, that is triangle. Here the function for definition, area of the triangle, I am having two arguments, base and height. I am having a doc string here and returning the area of the triangle. Here I am calling the function with two positional arguments, 3 and 12. These positional arguments are identified by their position. So 3 will be passed to B and 12 will be passed to H. So I am getting 18 as the result, that is 0.5 into 3 into 12. So the 18 is the area of the triangle which is returned, and it is getting printed here. After that I am printing the doc string using the attribute doc. So this doc string calculates area of the triangle is getting printed here. Now here in this function greet, I am having two parameters, name and message. So it will print hello, name and message. So I am calling this function here using Dencil as the name and good morning as the message. So it is printing hello Dencil, good morning. Now suppose I pass only one argument, then it will give me an error because the other argument is a required argument. So we'll see that. So here it is missing one positional argument message. So this is a required argument, so it is giving me error. Suppose if I don't give both the arguments, then it will give me missing two required arguments. So we will try that. So here it is giving the message missing two required positional arguments, because these are required arguments which need to be given. This problem can be solved by using keyword arguments instead of positional arguments. So keyword arguments are arguments that are called by their names and not position. So we will see the example of keyword arguments. So here in this definition, print info function, I am having name and age as parameters. I am printing them. I am passing keyword arguments. Keyword arguments will have equal to sign. So I am passing name and age in a different order. As in the function definition, we are having name first, but here I am giving name as the second argument. So we will execute this. So it has printed name Savio and age as 15. So keyword arguments are more flexible. You can change the order of the arguments. You have to use equal to sign when using the keyword arguments. We will see another example of keyword arguments. So here I am having name and message good morning as the arguments, and I am calling this function in 4 or 5 different ways. First I am passing name and message, then I am passing swapping the position of that message and then name. Then after that I am passing name as a positional argument and message as a keyword argument, because I am using equal to sign here. Then in this case I am using name. I am not passing any message, so it will take the default good morning as the message. So we will execute this. So we will execute this. So here it is. This is the first call, that is name is Brenda, message is how do you do. So that result is here. It has printed hello, name and message, how do you do. This is the second one. We have swapped the position of message and name here. Then also it is printing in the same order as given in the function definition. So here it is printing hello, name. Although I have interchanged the position of the name and message, it has printed in the same order. Now the third one is I have given name as the position argument, that is Brenda as the position argument, and message how do you do as a keyword argument. Again it has printed in the same way. Now in this instance I have given only name. The last time one I have given only name. I have not passed any message. So it will take the default message from the function definition, that is good morning, and it is getting printed here. Now what happens if I pass this function name is Brenda and how do you do? It will give me an error. So it is giving me an error. That is because this keyword argument should always be the last. It should always follow the positional argument. But here we have given keyword argument before the positional argument how do you do. Before this argument we have given the keyword argument name is Brenda. So that is why it is giving error. So keyword argument should always be placed after the positional argument. So keyword arguments are called by their names and not position. The caller recognizes the arguments by parameter names. Now arbitrary arguments. These arbitrary arguments are used when we don't know in advance the exact number of arguments which we are going to pass. Here I am having a function greet using the arbitrary argument, that is names. So whenever you use an arbitrary argument, you should always prefix with a asterisk. I am calling this function greet with these arguments Tom, Brenda, Richard and Smith. These arguments are passed to this function, and the printing names 2, which is the youngest, is names 2. That is name 0 is Tom, 1 is Brenda, 2 is Richard. So Richard will get printed here. Then after that, using a for loop, I am printing all the names. So let us execute this and see. So here it is. It has printed the youngest is Richard's, and all the arguments have been printed one after another. So we will see another example of these arbitrary arguments. Here I am having two parameters, args and quarks, and printing that. So I am calling the function student details using different types of arguments. The first three is positional argument, that is math, science and English, and these two are keyword arguments, name and age. We will execute this. So what has happened is the positional argument that has been passed to args has been printed in the form of a tuple, and the keyword arguments is passed to quarks and is printed as a dictionary. Now we will see this in some other context. So when you are passing these arguments, the positional arguments will be printed in the form of a tuple, and the keyword arguments will be printed in the form of a dictionary. So we will see in other context. Here I am having the same function, but I am passing it in a different way. Here I am making a list, course list containing math, science and English, these subjects. That is, this tuple I am converting it into a list, and dictionary I am keeping as it is, and I am calling the function students details using this courses list and details dictionary. So we will see what happens. So it has printed everything in one line. That means it has taken everything as a positional argument and printed it. So this was not the result which we had expected. So to get the desired result, we should put an asterisk before these courses and double star asterisk before the details. Then what will happen is, it will unpack this one by one, unpack the list, unpack the elements from the list one by one and send to the function, and similarly from the dictionary also it will unpack when we use double star and send to the function, and we will get the same result which we had got earlier. So we will run this. So here it is. I have got the output in the form of a tuple and dictionary when I have used star and double star at the time of calling the function. It has unpacked the elements and then sent to the function, and we have got the desired result now. So some other examples of these arbitrary arguments are, here I am having this multiply function I am passing these arguments. First I am passing 3, 7, 9, 8. Then at last I am passing 5, 6, 10 and 8. So all these arguments will be passed here one by one, and it will keep on multiplying and print the result. So first it will pass these arguments 3, 7 into args, and individually it will print 3 and 7, multiply 3 and 7 and print it. So we will see this. So here 3 and 7 it has taken as individual elements, individual arguments, and printed it. Individual elements is the x into num is equal to 3 means x is equal to x into num. That means 3 into 7, 21 has got printed. Then the second time I am passing the arguments 9 and 8. So it has printed 9 and 8. Then third is 3, 4 and 7, 3 arguments. So it will take individually one by one these arguments and multiply and print it. So the fourth one I am passing 4 arguments, 5, 6, 10 and 8. So these arguments have come and it will take one by one and multiply. That is 5 into 6, then into 10 into 8. So all this will give me 2400. So next is I am finding the minimum of the numbers. I am passing this as an argument. It will come here. It will segregate this, and then it will check. First I am moving the arg 0, that is the 0th element, that is 40 will be moved to result. After that, in the for loop I am checking one by one whether num is less than result, whether 40 is less than 5, it will check. If it finds a number which is less than that, it will move to result. So at the end the minimum number will be there in the result, and it will come out of the for loop and print the result. So we will execute this. So here it is. The result is 5. 5 is the minimum of the lot. So this is how we pass numbers into an arbitrary argument and manipulate it one by one. So hope you understood this video. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks very much.